Another exciting episode of the Andre The Beast Crayton Show with no other than the After Thanksgiving special with no other than Indiana's own, the new R&B sensation itself, 4CAST. What's up, guys?
What's happening?
What's happening? What's happening?
Man, look, I'm happy as hell. I just had Thanksgiving dinner, and now you guys are here as well. I couldn't ask for a better After Thanksgiving special.
Sure.
So what's been going on with you guys?
Well, we just had Thanksgiving, so we good and full now. But CJ's been performing with Babyface. He's been rocking it out. We just seen him in Cincinnati at the Hard Rock.
For sure.
That was a really dope experience. Seeing that man on stage doing his thing. NEKO, he's modeling. He just actually came from a fashion show.
And CJ just came from work, looking like.
Nah, Doc, I had to pull a Superman.
Yeah,
change that card, Doc.
That's crazy. But I'm gonna ask a couple questions real quick. Let's start with you. CJ.
Mm-hmm.
You're all over social media. You've been blessed to be with Babyface on tour, along with B. Thompson.
Yeah, yes, sir.
Man, what's that like?
Man, it's a blessing. As I always say, man, it's just like one of those situations where it feels like a dream. You know what I mean? Like every time you kind of go into airports and you land and the drivers are there, and then you get the opportunity to, just do what you love to do and what you've always wanted to do since you was a kid. You know what I mean? So it's one of those situations where it's a blessing. It's truly a blessing. God is good.
What kind of pressure are you up under now? Because before you was under pressure with these two guys, but it's total. It has to be a total different environment for you now.
Man, are you talking about with Babyface?
Yeah.
Really, to be honest, it was pressure. I would say for the first 2 shows that I had to do. Because those 2 shows, I was only supposed to be a fill-in. I wasn't supposed to, be signed on full time. So for those 2 shows, in me, I felt like I had something to prove, and I had something to show, like, hey, this is what I feel like I'm here on this earth to do.
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, I went out there and just did it, and I was blessed enough for him to think, okay, well, hey, he's good. You know what I mean? Like, let's sign him on. And after that, it's really honestly no pressure, because when you get to be around such a legend of his magnitude,
right,
and understand that he's really just a humble, laid-back guy, man, like, and just a regular human being. You know how, like, when you grow up and you see celebrities and you think, like, oh, larger than life, you know what I mean?
Right.
You can't touch him, man. You know what I mean? You can't talk to him. And things of that nature, but to be able to sit down and conversate with him, talk with him, and really kind of pick his brain with certain things of how he does his shows, and how you may write a song or whatever the case may be, and then to be surrounded by the band members as well, you know what I mean, and that authentic vibe that we all have, and that authentic, brotherhood that we all have. It feels just like, again, like a blessing. It doesn't really feel like pressure.
What did you bring to the table back to these guys that you learned while you was off? Because at the end of the day, let's get real. You're 4CAST.
Oh yeah, for sure.
You're 4CAST. You're MECAP.
Yes,
what did you bring back? Because that's a learning experience for you. So what do you bring back and share with these guys to elevate not only NEKO but Al as well, and more importantly, your brand? Because Babyface is a brand.
For sure.
Now you got to build. Let me rephrase this. You guys are already a brand. Let's call it what it is. You are already a brand. So what do you bring back from that experience to Al, and what do you guys feel about the experience that he's sharing with you guys?
Man, honestly, just learning different techniques and things that we can do in our show.
Such as what?
As far as just less is more. Like, we don't have to necessarily go on there and how we used to do jump on speakers and you know what I mean, and like pelvic thrust.
You don't want to have knees like mine.
Yeah, man, listen, man. But honestly, though, like, even though that's great, you know, that's a form of entertainment. Like, that's amazing. But learning from Boss, from Babyface, all you have to do is just do what God blessed you to do. And it will speak volumes for everything, right? And that's with us, like with our choreography and how we carry ourselves and how, you know, we, you know, construct our shows and how we want our shows to go as far as, you know, energy-wise. Do we want this energy to be right here? Should this energy be right here? Or should this slow song go right here? And it's just learning how he does it and incorporating with us. You know what I mean? That's what I feel like it kind of brings back to it because it takes our show to the next level.
What do you think about that?
Yeah, he brings more of a professional show when he comes back and, you know, kind of teaches us what he knows, you know, for instance, spacing and, you know, energy, you know.
What does spacing mean?
So like spacing would be like, you know, somebody's got to be center, you know, you can't be off to the left too much, can't be off to the right too much. You know, of course you know, they X the mark out, but you got to be conscious about it, you know.
Yeah, did you see that guy that went viral? That entertainer that's a singer? And
You talking about Lloyd.
Yeah.
And he spent and fell.
Yeah.
Man, but that's not his fault. That's not his fault. If you watch the video and watch it slowly, his like the front of his toe is like really long. Yeah. And he clipped it. He just didn't bring his foot far back. Yeah. But then also, you got to think, being on stage in front of hundreds and thousands of people, that adrenaline and that energy gets to going, and sometimes you don't think about the space.
Has that ever happened to you guys? Don't lie.
Oh, man, yeah.
Hey,
really?
listen,
You guys fell on the stage?
No, I ain't never fell on the stage. But I've had things happen.
Like what?
Things happen. Doc, tell him, man.
You want me to tell him?
Tell him.
Nah, we was on stage one time. Man, you really want me to tell you this?
Hell yeah. I mean, heck, your boy just went viral.
I think we was doing the show one time. I'm not gonna tell you what show it was because I don't want nobody to go back and watch it. But my pants split.
What?
My pants split. We was doing some choreography, and yeah, I think I dipped down, squatted down, and then I heard that initial.
Yeah. You never know, no.
Did you keep dancing?
Oh, absolutely. I finished the show. Nobody knew it happened. Nobody knew it happened. The only people that knew it happened were the guys on stage, because I was telling them like, yo,
I knew because he couldn't move. You know?
So we had to change like the whole choreography at that point, and at a drop of a dime.
Really? That's crazy. Let me ask NEKO a question. He's so quiet. How y'all get him in the band? He's too quiet.
Man, NEKO not quiet, man.
He ain't quiet.
No, he's not quiet. Yeah.
How do you feel about being with these guys?
It's a amazing experience, honestly. Like, I learn a lot from them as both an entertainer and a man, because they're both older than me and they've experienced things that I haven't experienced in life yet. Like, for example, CJ with Babyface. That's being connected to something that's bigger than anything that I've gotten to experience musically. And it's so close and personal. So when I am able to learn from him, it's, you know, you're learning things that you would just pick up from watching on TV from the source. And then with Al Wayne, you know, he's such a professional in everything that he does. And the way that he carries himself as a vocalist, that's something that you can learn from if you really want to. It's like I've even asked him, like, can we do some training? Like, you know what I mean? Let's do some vocal coaching. You know, he's not a vocal coach, but knowing that he's able to do what he can vocally, you can really learn from that if you really want to. And I think that, you know, that's been the biggest takeaway from being in the group with him, is I've been able to learn about myself as a performer, entertainer, and an artist.
What was your life like prior to getting the call from these guys to come and join the band? What were you doing in Florida?
I was with family, and I had just started putting out like my solo songs again. Like, that's been my thing since I started, even back in the day, making music. I don't really care about the glitz and glam of it. I don't care about being like anybody's pop star or nothing like that. I just want to make good songs, and to hear somebody say that song resonated, I liked how that sounded, I like how that felt.
So you were still doing music while you was in Florida?
Yeah.
But not to a high magnitude?
Yeah, I wasn't performing music.
Did you guys hear his music while he was still in Florida?
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, I got a CD.
Snap.
Yeah. But yeah, so it was just a matter of just I wasn't at first when I first went out there. Of course, when you move to a different state, you got to get adjusted. And I had, things I had to take care of responsibility wise. Mm-hmm. So once I got comfortable and I got my footing underneath me, I was just like, you know what? Like, I got my studio together and I just started recording and I just put a song out. And I was just like.
When you got a call from them, what was that like? Were you really ready to move? Did you ask for an opportunity to do something different?
I was praying on it. I wasn't necessarily praying for an opportunity in music. I was just praying for a sign that moving was the right thing, and not necessarily moving from Florida, but moving as in getting up, getting the call to move and do something different. And so I had prayed. I had a really great breakthrough, and it was the next week after CJ called me and was kind of, talking about, my group. They just want to.
You must have. You know what? Let's be real. You must really value these guys.
Oh, I do.
To get up and leave on a whim and start life all over again. You must have a lot of faith in these guys.
Yeah, and also I have a lot of faith in my God. Like, I don't want to impose my beliefs on anybody, but I believe that I'm an anointed person. If I pray for things, I'm going to receive them, no matter what the timeline is or how that works out. If I pray and say, hey, I need guidance, I need to know what to do, and then I get a call saying, here, come do this, and then everything lines up in order for me to do it.
Who did you talk to? I mean, I'm just not going to just get up because CJ say, hey, man, come and let's sing with me. I mean, who are you talking to? What did your family say about it?
My family, I'm not one of those people that have the biggest support when it comes to entertainment from my family. So it was more of like, hey, if that's what you want to do, go ahead and do it. All my confirmation came from me here. It was really just, okay, well, I cannot do it, but will I regret that? Am I going to sit back and think?
Well, you're still young. Why not? You're still young. Yeah. Go out and do it. What made you reach out to him?
Man, honestly, it was one of those situations where, because we really hadn't talked in probably like a year or two, you know what I mean? So I need to stop saying that because he's going to get on me by saying that. But we haven't.
Don't feel bad. I got buddies. We're so tripped out. I'm just telling my business.
Look, no.
I got buddies, man, that, that I don't talk to, but when we talk to each other, it might be a year. We still, hey.
Oh yeah, for sure. And that's
talking about saying, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I was talking about Unc, because Unc gonna get on me about that. Blooper. But anyway, no, seriously. We didn't talk for a couple years, and once we started kind of having those conversations, you know what I mean, and talking again, it was like you just said, just pick right back up. You know what I'm saying? So it was one of those situations where, like I said, I talked to him and I was like, hey man, did you
talk to Al first before?
No, I didn't. I talked to him because, again, this was something that we've always dreamed about. You know what I mean? Like doing the music and doing a group, and like he said, just being a part of the music industry, and being able to take care of our families and take care of our children, and doing what we love to do instead of doing something that we have to do, if that makes sense. Yeah. So it was one of those situations where, like I said, we were just talking about it, man. And it was like, well, what if you talk to the guys and, we can try to figure something out. And he was like, all right, just talk to him and see what happens. I think I called him the next day, if I'm not mistaken. And I talked to him. And, we had a conversation, he was like, we'll talk to Unc about it. We talked to Unc. And I think when I got back in town from those, show runs that we had a meeting, conversation about it. They talked to him and he was locked in. Like he was in there. Yeah, yeah.
When CJ wound up getting the opportunity to go with Babyface and stuff, and you realize that it's going to be for the whole entire tour pretty much. How did that shift? What kind of pressure did that put you under to continue to be 4CAST, continue to make, is it called EPs, EMs, and singles?
EPs, singles.
Yeah, like how much pressure was now put on you, because he's got enough pressure. How much pressure was it for you to bring NEKO up to par, still be able to perform? Because let's call it what it is. You wind up getting an opportunity to perform and some stuff by yourself too, because I be on you guys on social media. I'm like your godfather. I be following you jokers.
So it's never pressure, because it was always reassured. He's my brother. We talk that it's no matter what, we are gonna always come back to 4CAST. So it was never, there's no pressure or anything like that. Even when, I was, I'm doing like the spinners thing with Rodney Stepp, I'm gonna always, come back and, make sure that we take care of 4CAST. We always make time for it, So, and then with NEKO, what was your question? It was a 2-part question, or?
Yeah, like, how was it to bring him up to speed with what you guys wanted? Because you're trying to basically, your father is known for 4CAST. You're trying to, so many opportunities are happening for you guys, but the bigger picture is you started at 4CAST.
Yeah.
And now you're bringing NEKO in to come all the way from Florida and stuff, but you guys are still doing other ventures. How difficult is it now to really keep this a tight-knit unit and stay focused? You don't get on these charts being number one without, having more opportunities coming, but sometimes, let's call it what it is, you can kind of lose focus too a little bit.
I mean, you can get focused, but you can lose focus, but at the end of the day, we talk and we stay connected. So, I mean, when he first started, there was learning that he needed to do. Of course, there's always going to be that kind of pressure.
You mean learning this for what? Dancing, singing, the lyrics?
Dancing, the singing, the choreography, the lyrics, all that good stuff, It was probably more pressure on him than it was us.
Was it pressure?
Yeah, it was pressure.
What was the most pressurable part for you?
I think just living up to the expectation. They had built a really great reputation for themselves, and I didn't want to come into something and be the detriment. I didn't want to be the downfall. I didn't want to be why did they put him in the group? And I'm sure it happened, but I knew that what I was bringing to the table and what I was going to do and how I was going to fit into the mold, it was more so going to happen because people are negative as opposed to what I'm actually not able to do for the group. So that was my personal pressure, is how do I get myself up to that speed from just making songs at my house to now being a full-blown entertainer in a city that's knows these guys for being full-blown entertainers. And it was the diamond making pressure for sure.
Go ahead.
If I could say something real quick too, it kind of goes back to what we talked about before, right? So a lot of people ask that, like, how is it, with me being on the road with Babyface, or how is it with him with the spinners, or him doing this fashion modeling thing, and even him being the writer that he is, writing for other people and etc. It's an example that I always use with New Edition, right? New Edition is the base home, or the home base, right? The foundation, the seed that was planted into the ground, right? So when a tree is planted into the ground and it grows, what does it grow on the tree? Branches, right? So you have different branches that go out, and like on that New Edition tree, you got Bobby, right, that did his thing. You got Ralph that did his thing. You got Belle Biv DeVoe that did their thing. Johnny Gill did their thing, did his thing. But what is the base? New Edition always came back. So it's the same with us. It's no difference for what we're trying to build. And I've always said this, and I know they definitely agree with it. We're trying to build something that will outlast us all. You know what I mean? We're trying to build something that will create generational wealth, where our kids will grow up and their kids will grow up and will be taken care of for the rest of their lives, just for them to know, like, hey, my dads was out there doing what they love to do, right? And they were out there making moves. So that's basically what it is. 4CAST is a seed that was planted by Al, of course, Pops, but then Al, took over it. And once that seed was built, right, I came along, and, NEKO came along, and other people came along. And, it was one of those situations where the branches go out, but the base is still 4CAST. So it doesn't matter what we do, 4CAST is always going to be the home base. Always.
What do you think the problem is with today's artists? I mean, some people will listen to this and there's always envy to a degree, because you got a lot of people say, well, I'm doing this. What do you think the handicap is with artists today that just can't seem to get to that threshold?
It's not enough patience. It's not enough patience. And I mean, they can speak for themselves, you know what I mean? But I'm even talking to myself, because when I was younger, as a kid, I was always worried about when am I gonna get a record deal, right? When are we gonna get signed on? When is somebody gonna see us? When are we gonna do this? When are we gonna do that? But growing up, I didn't realize that you're so in love with the end result, right? And you're so in love with getting to that final result instead of falling in love with the process. Because what the process does is it grows you and it matures you, and it puts you in a mindset of understanding that maybe I have to go through these things so I can be what I want to be. And I feel like if a lot of artists, and if I could tell my younger self as an artist, patience, because once you have patience and you understand patience, everything happens on time for a reason, right? Our time sometimes may not be the best time that we have, but when it happens, we have to be prepared. You got to be ready, and you got to be willing to take that call. So, I mean, of course, they can speak for themselves, but I would say patience, the main thing.
I
patience.
would say more or less, and everything he said is true, by the way. Everything, I agree with everything he said, but relevance and work ethic. A lot of these artists, they don't put the work in, that they should. They think that, well, I can just do this and then I'm gonna blow up, or I can do that and I'm just gonna blow up. No, you gotta do interviews. You gotta be in the movers and shakers' ears. You know what I'm saying? You gotta be talking to the promoters. You have to stay relevant. And if you're not relevant, if you disappear and you're out of sight, out of mind, then you'll never make it in this industry. This industry is quick, and it's what are you doing right now?
What do you guys say about that?
Yeah, I agree with both of them. And I think also it's a matter of knowing exactly who you are and what you want. It's easy to look at what the next person has going on and go, dang, I wish. But do you actually even want that? Like for me, I've always known I don't really want to be the biggest pop star to ever do it. If it happens, it happens. And I'm going to be ready for it, like Al said and like CJ says. But what I want is to create something that someone goes, that is it. I love that affected me in this way. You don't have to be the biggest pop star in the world for that. So you can be okay with where you are in your journey if you understand who you are and what you want, and not just get caught up in, well, if I'm making music, I have to be the person who gets signed to the biggest record label with the biggest record deal in the world and blah, 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 blah. No, the guy who wants that should go for that. And you, as who you are and what you want, and if that's what you want, then you have to want that for yourself in your own way.
So I guess in other words, you need to figure out, have a clear mind and figure out exactly what destination you're trying, or what journey you're trying to follow. Let's go to this question. You guys are MECAP. What made you decide to be MECAP artists and decide with a label, period? Because most people, there's always that conflict between signing and non-signing and being an independent. And let's start with you, CJ. What's your take on all that?
Honestly, I mean, the reason I know he was joking about it, it wasn't that much. I wasn't blowing him up that bad. Like I was hitting him up periodically when we have shows. But I saw what Unc was doing with MECAP. And I saw,
Did you know about him prior? Did either one of you guys know about him prior?
I knew of him. I didn't know, you know what I mean? Of course, he can speak for himself, but me personally, I didn't know him personally. I just knew of the accomplishments that he's done. I knew him just for simply, his name being known really in the music industry as far as in Indianapolis and Indiana, just the world in general. And so, like I said, when I saw him on Facebook, I did my research. I looked him up on Google. I typed his name in, the typical stuff that you would do. And everything was legit, man. I saw it for myself. And once I saw what he was doing for Damon, when Damon was opening up for so many people, so many artists, and then I saw what he was doing for Kelsey. Those are the main two that I saw. So I kind of felt the same way for us. Like I felt like we should be on those stages. I felt like we should, be in those lights because we were putting in the work.
Did you guys reach out to Kelsey and Damon because you knew them and say, hey?
No, me personally, I didn't because I didn't know them personally.
Did you know them?
So I had ran into Uncle Sid and Damon because they had called me to run sound for them.
Oh.
And I seen how Uncle Sid was managing Damon. And I was thinking to myself, man, listen, if I needed a manager, that's how I want my manager to be, because he was on me, make sure that Damon's stuff was there, on his stuff was ready and on time, make sure his sound was good, like he was on top of me. And me being a natural leader and a manager, because I had managed 4CAST and made sure that we were doing everything from the bookings and everything, I got tired of doing that, and I needed somebody to take that role. And Uncle Sid was the perfect person to take that role. And
I like you said that, because most people would not have the foresight to, because this is you guys' creation. So let's put it like this: most people would not hand the keys over to somebody else. That speaks unselfishness on your part, but it also speaks maturity and the growth mindset that you saw the bigger picture for you and CJ and NEKO.
Right. I couldn't be an artist and a manager at the same time, because one would take over the other. Like when we do shows, I had to be the manager and the sound man and the artist. And it was pulling me in too many different directions, so I had to make a choice.
Did you talk to CJ about the choice?
Man, I was getting on him about it.
He was tired of it,
man, because at the end of the day, like,
was it really cramping his skill as an artist?
Man, to be honest, and I'm just to be completely candid, I feel like it did take away from that, because his focus should have been on just singing and performing, because I mean, all vocally, we all can handle our own. We can all do our own. You know what I mean? There's no question about it. I will put us up against anybody. You know what I mean? But Al's vocals, man, it's different. So by him being, the lead singer pretty much, you know what I mean, singing most of the leads and et cetera and stuff like that, I wanted him to focus on that and focus on that aspect, instead of doing a whole 3-4 hour show and then he got to go collect the money, you know what I mean, and everybody watching him because he just got done performing, and it's like he walking around like, nah, he didn't need to do all that, especially the booking and stuff.
My mindset had to change from manager to artist in a blink of an eye.
Oh, that's too much.
And sometimes it would affect me on stage. I wouldn't necessarily be in artist mode. I would have still been in business mode. And sometimes business will make you mad. And I would step on that stage with that stuff on my mind. And I, like he said, you can tell.
How did this affect you guys' relationships?
And it didn't.
No, not at all.
Man, we don't listen, man. Like, I know a lot of people gonna see this interview, man. We don't have problems, man. I mean, it's a brotherhood, man. And of course, in any brotherhood, any friendship, anything like that, you got to hold your brother accountable. You got to hold your friend accountable. And one thing I've always told him is I looked up to him. I still do to this day. You know what I'm saying? On certain standpoints of what he does and how he performs. Like NEKO said, his vocal ability and all of that. And me being the protective guy that I am and the caring guy that I am, when I love somebody, I love them. So I wanted him to just do what he was blessed to do, right? And I didn't want him doing all that. So having that conversation, like, it was just little bro to big bro. Like, I was telling him, like, man, you don't need to be doing that. You need to be focused on this. We're going to do this choreography, give this to this person, give that to that person. Of course, there was some resentment because 4CAST is his baby, right? He groomed it and did all that. But I feel like the more and more time progressed and the more that we kind of got locked in with who was around us and who we had around us, he kind of let the reins up a little bit. And then once Unc came, you know what I mean, that freed him up completely.
How did you approach Unc to take over?
We all, just sat down and had a conversation. I talked to him about, what my visions and goals were with 4CAST, and, what, I let him know exactly what I was doing. And he was like, oh, no, listen, I'll handle that. I'll do this. I'll do that. You don't have to worry about that. You just focus on being an artist and he'll take care of the rest. And I had already seen how he, was, managing Damon. I had full confidence that he could, handle that.
How did it sharpen your game?
It did, man. Listen, I was able to, focus on, being a lyricist. I was focused on my body. I was focused on, vocal ability. I was able to focus on just the overall show. And now I feel like the show is a lot better. especially with CJ being on with Babyface and bringing all that back.
I'm so proud of you guys, man. I mean, it's almost like a Cinderella story, but what it shows is the brotherhood that you guys got together. Even with NEKO coming all the way from Florida to here and seeing the vision. Now you're even doing something. You're with Rodney Snaps now.
Right, Rodney Step, yes sir.
Yeah.
We're doing the Spinners tribute.
I'm surprised I didn't get a role in it. I told Rodney, I'm surprised I didn't get a. Could it be?
Hey, no, but listen, they're amazing though, man. Like they are amazing. They sold out Hendrix Live that you guys were at.
Yeah, we saw that.
Man, that show was phenomenal.
How did you like getting the opportunity to perform with with a legendary group like that? There's not a song that you guys weren't even born yet. I know every single song, dude.
Man, it was absolutely amazing, man. And in some of the songs I didn't even know the Spinners had done.
Which one, like Sadie? Sadie, don't
No.
you?
I knew that they did Sadie, but it was the one song.
One of a kind.
Yeah, One of a Kind.
Love of Annie.
Yep. I didn't know that was the Spinners. Really? No, I did not know. I didn't know exactly who that was. I'd heard that song. I heard a lot of Spinner songs, but a lot of those songs I was like, oh, that's the Spinners too? Oh, that's the Spinners too? Oh, shoot. Okay.
See, you were still in the crib.
I mean, yeah, but parents would play that on Sunday while cleaning, man.
Talk, Doc. Yes, sir, Doc.
Oh, we play that all day. But yeah, it's a great opportunity. We got another opportunity to perform with Mr. Rodney Stepp at his holiday soul review.
When is that?
That's gonna be December 6th. It's gonna be at the Madam Walker Theater.
How do they get tickets? We might as well go and plug that now. Contact Rodney Stepp.
No, you can go to the Madam. You can go to the Madam Walker website. Madam Walker, the Madam CJ Walker website. You can also go to the desk. They have like the little box office there still, and then you can follow us or follow Rodney Stepp, and and if you scroll down our page, you'll see the link.
Is it a black tie affair? I like black tie affairs. I think we're missing those.
I would say,
dress up, man.
you gotta bring your A game.
No jeans. And
No. They coming with their lemon pepper steppers. They coming in there.
Come on, lemon pepper steppers.
What's been the most exciting thing about being able to recreate a legend like that? The legends.
Repeat that.
Like, what's it like for you to actually get the opportunity to re-showcase these legends?
It's an honor. I've learned so much about the Spinners. That
the dance moves,
the dance moves. Felipe, the history behind all the Spinners and how many Spinners came in, how many Spinners. You know what I'm saying? Like all that. I got to learn all that, and it's very special because I believe that we are the only Spinners tribute here in the United States.
Really?
Yep. So there's gonna be plenty of opportunity. Just stay tuned. I can't really speak on it, but absolutely, yeah.
What's it like to see your fellow mate get this opportunity, guys?
Man, it's an honor, man.
You're gonna be the backup.
Look, man, whatever they need me for, right? I'm there. It's just great. It's for both of them. I think I'm probably the best to answer that question. With CJ first, I didn't really know what 4CAST was or like what anything was going on. I didn't even know he was performing with Babyface when I was in Florida because we hadn't talked in a while. So that was the first thing I had found out about, and I was just like,
"What?"
I remember when we was in school, like people would always make fun of him for wanting to make old school songs or old school inspired songs or liking the greats and the legends and stuff like that. I'm like, look at that man. And
now
then,
you gotta pack your bags.
Yeah, right. So then, so being able to experience that and watch that, blossom, man. I'm one of those people that's like, it take a lot to get me to hate on you. So I'm not gonna sit here and be like, no. I'm like, this is amazing. Yeah. Like, you are awesome for being able to do this, and it's awesome I get to know you while you do this. And it's the same thing with Al now because I really don't know much about the Spinners. I'm not gonna lie.
You guys keep saying that, man. We're gonna put a trivia question together.
Look, I don't know much about the Spinners, but I know that when you're selected to get to represent greatness, legends, it's for a reason.
Yeah.
So it's amazing getting to see him grow in that and being close to it.
Let's toot your horn a little bit before we wrap up. You're modeling now.
Yeah.
First time.
A little bit, yeah.
That hair gets them.
Talk your stuff, boy.
The hair,
Yeah, that hair gets
the hair, the skin routine. I started doing this little Korean thing, and it was,
What was that like for you?
it was amazing. It was insane. It was crazy because that's not something I ever really considered. One day,
Were you scared?
No. It's like if you can pelvic thrust in front of people whose names you don't even know, like people's mamas, aunties, grandmas, grandpas. It's like you can walk on a stage and some nice clothes. You know what I mean? I think the most interesting part of it was, like I was gonna say, the fact that I never thought I'd be doing something like that.
Yeah.
It's like I've always known I'm an attractive guy, but modeling just seems like such a taboo thing to the average man. So it's like when Al hit me up and was like, "Hey man, have you ever thought about modeling?" I thought he was joking. I thought he was just hyping me up.
You hit him up about modeling?
Absolutely. I hit him up about modeling. I was looking at some of his pictures, and I was like, "Man, you would be a good model, man." He got the height, he got the look, you know what I'm saying? He got the hair.
He cares about you. He's looking on your social media and going, "You ever thought about modeling?"
That's a big brother though, man. That's a brother. I thought he was joking. I thought he was just trying to hype me up. I'm like, no, who thinks about modeling? He's like, oh, okay, well, I know a guy. I'm like, oh, you for real? Well, okay. Then I leaned in. I was like, you know what? I have thought about modeling, so let's do it. And then a week later, I got a fashion show.
Now, not only did you get the fashion show, but you said something earlier. You said you didn't know the name 4CAST in Florida, but they call your name, and all of a sudden you realize you're a big deal.
Yeah, that is an interesting thing to live with, because I knew fame was in the cards.
Yeah,
but I didn't think it would be something I actually had to deal with.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I always figured, even being in a group, I could just skate by, but nah, you can't just skate by.
Nico, what's your last name?
Well, my stage name is NEKO VYNEZ.
See, that's a Hollywood name right there.
Yeah,
you know
right.
What I mean?
It was kind of unavoidable.
Yeah. I wish I had I said NEKO VYNEZ. That name sounds powerful. You know what I mean? That sounds Hollywood all the way around.
It's crazy how random it is.
Let me ask you guys this question. Like, you definitely have a brotherhood. Outside of that, like, really, what keeps you guys together? What do you think most groups are missing? Why can't they have what you guys have?
Communication. Like he said, holding each other accountable. You can't be scared to talk to your brothers, you know, especially when you're feeling some type of way, because all it does is just fester, and then then the lies start to fester in your head. You start believing in lies and things like that,
Mm-hmm.
and maybe there's a rumor out there, and you don't, address it, communicate, be transparent. That's what's kept. Well, I speak for myself. They can speak for themselves, but I feel like that's what keeps us tight.
Okay. What are you gonna say, CJ?
Man, just also simply too maturing and being grown. It's one of those things, man. In any relationship, friendship, brotherhood, like he said, you have to be willing to have those tough conversations. But it's your approach too. I feel like that's a lot of things that kind of can go wrong in a conversation, because, in groups, you'll get that one person who just gets the biggest head in the world, or everybody may be feeling themselves because y'all got success or whatever the case may be. And it gets to a point where it's just like, I'm too good to talk to you, or I'm too good to listen to you, when that's never the case. Like, we all have to have some type of humility and understanding that nobody's big. And that's one thing we do understand. Nobody's bigger than 4CAST. Nobody. Like, we all literally play a role and a pivotal part in this, man, because it's one of those situations where, like Al touched on earlier, I mean, granted, can he, go on and pick out two other guys and stuff like that? Yeah, he can, man. But at the end of the day, it's not going to be the same as the unity that we have, because it's one of those things where the work that we done put in them headquarters, them late night rehearsals, and all of that stuff still sticks, even with past members, man. Like, it's all love. Like, it's everybody plays a role in what we do, and what the bond and the brotherhood that we have is just, I feel like what's missing in groups is just people being grown and not having legitimate conversations and good conversations.
I like what you said. Almost like from the movie The Temptations, Nobody's Bigger.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And he told me that. He
Yeah.
told me that ain't nobody bigger than the group, because when you get somebody that's bigger than the group or think they're bigger than the group, that's when the group goes right downhill, man. Ain't nobody got time for that, man. We all need each other, plain and simple. We can do it by ourselves, but do we want to do it by ourselves? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So-
My last question. You guys just released a beautiful ballad. What was that like?
Yeah, I mean that was the biggest track I've ever been a part of.
Really?
Sound production wise, who was all involved with it, everything. So I think for me, and I think for all of us, hearing ourselves sound that good and that full and that big, it was magic. I say it's like the bridge when we all are doing the background vocals. I feel like it's like angels
Like
in
he
a
grinning
choir
like crazy.
singing.
Here you go. Here you go.
I feel like it's like angels, like, because it's just like the harmonics, the way everything just blends together, and the way we all feel, and the way it sounds like we all feel when we're making that song, like we understand exactly what we're singing about. Like when sent me the track and was like, I need you to write a verse to this. When I first heard it, I was like, this is a complete song. How do you write a verse to this?
Right.
But I kind of broke it down, and I was just like, okay, he wants to know, since everybody wrote their own part, what he was wanting was to hear what our take on romance and taking a chance on romance looks and feels like for us as individuals. And you can hear that with each verse.
Mm-hmm.
Like Al, he wrote the bridge and his verse, so you can hear his idea of romance. You hear CJ's idea of romance, where it's just like, please take your time. Please understand this is where we're at in our relationship, and this is how I'm going to help you understand what I want from you and what I want from our relationship. So going into my verse, I'm like, okay, I'm not necessarily talking about what I want from you in this relationship. I want you to understand where I'm at as a man and what romance is for me in this place of maturity and in this relationship, and who I am as a man, what romance is for me. When you put all those elements together, man, it's a silky ballad. It's a powerful ballad.
Y'all gotta check it out. Y'all haven't
Right.
already.
So let me ask Al, what was your take on that when you wrote your lines and so forth? What was you going through?
So yeah, the lyrics that I wrote came from a very, very personal experience in a personal place. Everything that I wrote, I lived, and the experience was amazing because now I'm able to put what I express and what has happened to me or what I've done into music. And that's what music's all about, because I'm sure people can relate to, our lyrics, the stuff that we've been through. So yeah, it was beautiful, man. Like he said, it's a beautiful, beautiful ballad.
All right, CJ, you wrote your lyrics. What was you going through?
Oh man.
Take a chance, take a chance.
Listen, honestly, I wasn't going through nothing personally. It was just like he said, like being able to write a song. That
Who
comes.
the song idea before you finish it?
Actually, it was Unc, wasn't it? Unc came to us with that.
Yeah, Unc came up with us. Anthony Nutbush came up with it.
Shout out to Zoomies.
Both of them kind of was sitting on it.
Okay.
For sure. But yeah, man, it just like when he kind of gave us the song, and like Al said, it's just writing from a standpoint, because again, in today's music, especially in R&B, like people are not willing to tell a story, if that makes sense. Now, granted, every artist is different. Like your form of artistry and your form of music, if that's what you believe in, if that's what your passion is, all by means necessary, do it. You know what I mean? But it's one of those situations like with Take a Chance on Romance, like you don't see a lot of guys that's willing enough to tell their women, hey, like, I know things has happened. I know you've been through some things in the past, but, take a chance. And coming from a background where I grew up on, Temptations and Jodeci and, Boys to Men and Four Tops, kind of going back to that regimen of taking that loving and passion and that reaching for the air in the music videos, you know what I mean?
Singing
like
to Nayu.
Yeah, falling to your knees and, you know what I mean? Like begging your woman. Just, is that all in one. That came from my
What's the difference between the songwriting skills between that particular ballad and the other ballads that you guys have put out?
I became more seasoned as a writer.
Okay.
You know, because I was a novice to it, and that's not the first song that I've written, but it is the first song that I can hang my hat on and said that was a complete work from start to finish.
Because you can see the difference in, I would say, maturity from "Girl You Good" to that one. What do you guys think the difference is between "Girl You Good" and "Take a Chance"?
My personal opinion, "Girl You Good" is a very beautiful song. It's an amazing song. I think what's different though is with "Take a Chance," we kind of had more leeway in it, if that makes sense. Like, we wrote our own verses, and we wrote from a personal experience versus singing what somebody else wrote from their experiences. Now, of course, we dealt with the same thing in "Girl You Good," you know, when we was doing our shows and all of that. But with "Take a Chance," I feel like it was more of, like Al said, kind of giving us a perspective of writing from a personal standpoint and really writing from, what we've been through or what we're dealing with or whatever the case may be.
What makes 4CAST different? This will be my last two questions. What makes 4CAST different? We've seen a lot of groups, Jodeci, the Temptations, Enchantment, the Spinners. We've seen all different kinds of rhythms. What makes 4CAST different?
My personal opinion, we were able to bring the past, the present, and the future and put it into our music. So we could write something and it can be, it can sound old school. We can write something, it can sound new school. And then as far as our the way we perform, we perform. It ain't no plaything when it comes to us. Like, we put performing just as much at the head, just as much as actually writing a song.
Now, we know what's going on with you guys with other events. You're doing the Spinners, you're with Babyface, you're doing modeling. But what's next for 4CAST? What can people expect to hear from you guys next?
We'll plug the shows. I mean, we have a show coming up on the 5th of next week, or the 5th of December. We're doing a versus battle with the Tony Bryant Band for Geno Shelton. And then, as Al stated earlier, we're going to be doing the Holiday Soul Review. And are we allowed to talk about the EP?
You can mention it.
Yeah, you can talk a little bit about it.
Okay, so we're putting together a little EP, kind of doing a revamp of some gems and putting some new ones together for everybody.
So we got some new music coming out in the first quarter of next year. So stay tuned.
And some good shows next year as well. We can't say too much, but
some good shows. Local? Well, you can say local.
Listen, I ain't gonna get in trouble. You ain't gonna get me in trouble.
We don't want to get in trouble. Just tune in and follow you guys on social. How can the guys follow you guys on social media?
Well, check this out. Listen, you can follow us on Instagram on our new Instagram page, the number 4CAST _RNB, the number 4CAST _RNB, and then as well you can follow us on Facebook at the number 4CAST, the number 4CAST. And then follow us on X, formerly known as Twitter, at the number 4CASTHFM. And then reach out to Uncle Jams for any bookings or anything that you guys want to do with 4CAST.
I got one question to ask. I love Grace with 12. What was that like for you guys, man? And such a powerful song. I remember when I first played it on the IMB's radio station, I was like, first, I didn't want to listen to it because it said Grace. I was like, oh, my God, I don't want to listen to it. And then when it came on, I was like, OMG. What was that like for you guys? Like, what was, when you got the music given to you, the words and so forth, what was that like for you guys?
Well, didn't we write some of that?
Yeah, we did it in Unk's Hotel.
Yeah, he called me. He called all the 4CAST. And 12, and it was somebody else there, and we all kind of had like this brainstorm on the song or whatnot. So we're sitting there with pen and pad, writing the lyrics to the chorus of the song, and we went back and forth a little bit, and we finally came up with it. And then it dawned on me, like, because it was like a part in the song. It was a part in the lyrics, and then we was trying to make it fit, and it didn't really fit. And then we actually found the actual lyric to complete the actual chorus together.
Did 12 tell you what kind of song it was meant to be? Did he say, "Look"?
Yeah, we had already known.
Yeah, you can, but also too, like you said, you hear the name, you can tell.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. What it's going to be about.
It was just off for me, knowing that 12 is a rapper. I'm like, what is Grace? So
The song is beautiful, man.
Yeah.
That song is awesome.
Before we wrap up, let's start with CJ, because we're going into the new year.
Yes, sir.
Thank you guys for coming on the show after Thanksgiving.
Thank you for having us.
Oh my God, anytime. This door is always open for you guys.
Yes, sir.
I wish you guys nothing but best every time I look at you guys. You guys are always doing something. You're definitely a role model to the city. They should give you guys the key to the city. And I guess a two-part question. I noticed a lot of the artists now here in Indiana are looking to share their gift, mentoring. Is that something you guys gonna do as well?
absolutely.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. We actually went to a couple schools, what was that, last year?
Yeah.
And talked to the kids, went to different classes and got a chance to sing for them.
What's the young people's
oh
response?
my gosh, man, it was amazing, man. I'll never forget. There was
A lot of questions.
Yeah, and remind me, there was one class that we was in where there was this little boy, and he was really shy, man. He was really shy. And the teacher had told me, I think she had told you, I think he was talking, I don't know what she was doing. I think he was talking to somebody. But the teacher told me he brings a keyboard to class every day.
Really?
Yeah, so I told Al and told, the other people that were there. And basically, you know what I mean? I was just like, man, he got a keyboard. I said, we should hear him on the keyboard. So he brought the keyboard out. Man, he'll tell you, man, dude got the pluck, and it sounded good.
I was like, wow.
It sounded good. I mean, how old was he? Probably no more than
Like 7 or 8.
Yeah, man, he was a kid. And
like a little prodigy.
Man, and he was so shy. You could tell he was just so shy. But then when he started playing that piano and saw our reactions, oh man, he loved it.
Confidence.
Yeah, the confidence went crazy. So I would say, yeah, we would definitely love to do more.
So they can still reach out to you guys that way if they,
always,
you guys can make guest appearances at schools and mentorship.
Always.
I think they reached back out to us one time, and we was not able to do it because we already had prior engagements. But I'm sure they'll reach back out eventually.
I think what would be dope is if we all, could go back to our high schools.
I'm getting ready to ask that. Have you been invited back to the high schools?
Man, actually, I was in talks with it like last year, but things kind of didn't go well because the schedule conflicts and all of that.
Yeah.
But I feel like if we like him going back to his high school, us going back to our high school, and like being able to talk to the kids,
that would be
stuff.
so dope.
Funny story. I know you want to wrap up, but we actually did as East 97 go back to our high school. It's on YouTube.
We did. It is.
And we did a song we should not have done at school. And there was a part where we said a lyric we should not have said, and you can hear one of the moms in the video go, "No!"
And she was sitting right in the front. But even speaking of that, like that just shows. Like, we were passionate in what we did, man. We didn't care about, because a lot, like when you graduate high school, you'll get to some people that don't mind going back, right? But then some people was like, man, I'm not going back to there. Like, we gone. Man, we didn't care, man. We had the opportunity. And just like that, we were the first ones, and I believe the only ones in Warren Central history to ever perform at prom.
Really?
Ever perform. We performed at Jodeci. Come and talk to me.
Wow.
Yeah, man. Yeah, that's crazy. Just talk about memories.
Do me a favor. I want each one of you guys to leave the viewers with an inspiration. So when they go into 2026, they can have that same drive that you guys had. Let's start with you, CJ.
I would say this, right? Take care of your mental health. And I feel like we all can agree and attest to that. Take care of yourself. It's okay not to be okay. All right. It's okay to talk to people about how you feel. It's okay with venting about how you feel. But always remember, what you go through at the point in time of what you're going through doesn't dictate what's going to happen in the future. So what's happening right now is not going to carry on until that next day or the next day or the next day if your mentality is changed, right? So always stay positive. Always keep positive people around you. Always be real to yourself and take it easy on yourself, right? Don't go so hard on yourself. Give yourself grace. Give yourself time. Give yourself patience, and understand that everything is a process, right? And if nobody's told you that you're amazing, you're amazing. And if nobody's told you they love you, we love you.
Hey, I like that.
I would say going in 2025, this was always told to me, always be authentically you. And in the process of you being authentically you, if someone tries to copy you, don't take it as an insult.
Yeah.
Take it as a compliment, because you're inspiring somebody to do something that you're doing, and you're doing something right. And when them haters start coming, just know you got your finger on the button. You're doing it.
Yep. And I want to say, have faith in your testimony. We're all being used to be a part of a narrative, a part of a bigger story. Have faith in your role, and make sure that you're doing everything you can to make sure that you're proud of the role that you're playing, and you're proud of who you are.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you guys for taking time out to bless me after Thanksgiving special. Make sure you guys go into the event that's called the what is it again that you guys?
Oh, you All Stars. We got All Stars December 5th for the Tony Bryant Project versus, and then December 6th, which is the following day, will be at the Rodney Stepp Holiday Soul Review. Make sure you guys come and check us out there.
Make sure you guys go check that out. Click that button. Subscribe, like, share, follow. Click that button, because sometimes all it takes is one click to make a difference in not only your life but somebody else's life. This has been another, and I do mean another, exciting episode of the Andre the Beast Crayton Show.